You've heard me discuss that the Pollad family, one of the great trivia questions of all time, I'll give it to you again. If you happen to do trivia night, just know if you're asked who was the richest owner during the times of contraction in Major League Baseball in the early 2000s, the richest owner was Carl Pohlad, who owned the team that was going to be contracted. That's how I tell you that the correlation between how rich your owner is and how high your payroll is not necessarily direct, other than Stevie Cohn. So Carl Pohlad died, and then his children and grandchildren have taken over the team. But the Twins have been for sale for over a year. And you know we have a wait to see that the Twins are going to get sold. You know that the Twins were going to be sold to Justin Ishbia, Matt Ishbia's brother, the owner of the Suns. And you know that Matt Ishbia and Justin said, I thought we'd take over the Twins, but nah, we're from Chicago. Let's buy the White Sox instead after Jerry Reinsdorf dies. And that deal happened. That left the Twins with a real problem. They were trying to sell the team, but the person they were trying to sell it to said, we appreciate that, but we choose Chicago over Minnesota. So the Twins have again been for sale. Rob Manfred, when he met the media after the All-Star game, thought that it was important to give an update on the Twins sale. And the update that he gave was a fascinating one, because he acknowledged that the Twins are asking $1.7 billion. That has been out there, and that seems to be the magic number. The Orioles went for 1.73. It is purported that the Tampa Bay Rays are going for 1.7. So let's pretend that's the magic number, which we know from the other sports that teams are not related to each other in sale price. But let's just say in baseball they are. And we know that they are looking for a bid that they haven't quite gotten yet. Because what we heard is that there were offers around $1.5 billion that the Pohlad family rejected. Now, of course, when you look at capital gains tax and you look at what you're taking home, $200 million, 1.5 to 1.7, it's meaningful even at a 50% rate, which it's not, but just assume it is. That's $100 million that you are saying that, okay, we'll pass on that. So the Twins said, we're not going to do that. So when Rob was asked about the Twins sale, listen to what he said. He said, this is a small business, right? All those bankers that are out there ain't that many of them. They all talk to each other. When it becomes clear that you have a leader in the clubhouse, everybody else kind of backs away, right? Because they kind of get a feel for price. And unless they're prepared to top, they're going to move on and do something else. So a big part of the delay in Minnesota was associated with the leader in the clubhouse who made a decision to do something else. Commissioner, I love and respect you, and I love the fact that you're commissioner, but that's not exactly right. And I want to help you understand why. And I don't mean you, Rob, because you understand it. You felt this was an important quote to give. The reason why I didn't hire a bank to do the sale of the Marlins is because there is zero added value that they give you when you are selling a team. Zero. Because you say your team's for sale, and it's not a secret. It's not like they're identifying people who don't know that a team is for sale, because we're pretty public for a private company. We stand up on a mountain and say our team's for sale, come make offers. When we give an exclusive negotiating window to somebody, we are doing that for a reason, because we have gotten the price that we want, and we are giving that group the opportunity to come to final agreement without them thinking that us, the seller, that we are shopping the deal to all the other groups who are trying to buy. We read that in Tampa, the now rumored owner, the new owner of the Rays, had an exclusive negotiating period. I told you at the Marlins, we had an exclusive negotiating period with the Kushner family. We didn't announce it at the time. It's not been made public before, but we had that exclusive negotiating period, and we couldn't come to a final deal, and therefore that period ran out, and then we moved on to all of the other groups. Now, wink, wink, during an exclusive negotiating period, if you think that as a team executive, that you, meaning me, in charge of selling the team, meaning me, because you don't want to deal with bankers. If you are not keeping the other groups informed, then you're not doing your job. When you sign an exclusive negotiating agreement with a party to enter into a final asset purchase agreement, what you are saying is that you will not do a deal with anybody else. When it says exclusive negotiating, that's the title of it. The body of the agreement that I signed was an agreement saying, hey, it's just you, babe. It doesn't mean that, oh, I happen to be at Wendy's and I said, well, they're not a sponsor. I don't want to say Wendy's. I happen to be getting a bite of food and I happen to be talking to somebody who I know wants to buy the team. Hey, Alex. Hey, Derek, don't you worry your little head because this team is very much still for sale. A little wink, wink. Now, if we had come to an agreement with the Kushner family, that would have been that. And then you call up A-Rod, you call up Derek and all the others who were bidding, and you say, hey, we couldn't get a deal done with you. Sorry, we're going in a different direction. That is totally normal and totally fine. So when Rob is talking about the fact that there was a quashing impact on other people wanting to bid for the Twins because there was a thought that Justin Ishbia was buying the Twins, it's total horse hockey. If there's someone who wants to buy the Twins and you know that Justin Ishbia has an inside track, you call up the Pohlad family and say, what's the number? Is he at 1.7? I'll be at 1.7. You sure you don't want me? Is he at 1.6? I'll be at 1.6. Well, I'll come up with my own number. How about 1.65 with fewer purchase price adjustments? I want to give you a minute on purchase price adjustments because every time we read a number, $10 billion for the Lakers, $6 billion for the Celtics, or 7.3, 1.7 for the Rays, that's just a number. 1.2 billion, that's just a number. What are the purchase price adjustments associated with that number? Meaning, what is the amount of money discounted from that number that's actually used as the transaction price? So you take debt away from that. You may take away some bad contracts away from that. You may take away from some future liabilities, some deferred money that you owe to players. There's all sorts of adjustments that can take place. And those adjustments are not by law. They're by negotiation. So you could have three groups offering $1.7 billion for your team, but every one of those offers is different because one of the people offering 1.7 may say, I don't want even $1 in purchase price adjustments. 1.7 means 1.7. Another guy may say 1.7, but I'm not going to pay for Rocco Baldelli, so it's really 1.6. I mean, that's too much money. Baldelli doesn't make $100 million, but it's a negotiation. I think you get what I'm saying. So therefore, the Minnesota Twins are going to figure out how to get their team sold because we have a wait to see that says the team's going to be sold before the start of next season. And we don't want to miss the wait to see. So it's not a matter of how many banks there are or what the price is or the fact that Ishbia was around and then not around. Don't worry.